I made a stupid decision this week. Every movie channel is going to be reviewing either Saw or this. I could have cornered the market on Paw Patrol, but I didn't. We'll get them next time. Welcome back to Reviewed in 5, the show where I go see a new movie and then rate it in 5 categories: writing, directing, acting, originality, and entertainment. Today we're talking about The Creator,
an epic sci-fi action thriller from the director of Rogue One.
The Creator is the story of Joshua Taylor, a former soldier in the war between artificial intelligence and the US government. Usually it's the war between AI and humanity, but in this movie the robots are only fighting the United States, and I find that very funny. Anyway, Joshua is recruited to find and destroy a powerful new weapon created by the AI side, a robotic child with powers both mysterious and serious. But things get complicated when Joshua realizes that this child might be the only one who can lead him to the wife he lost years ago. So based on the poster and the synopsis, which was about all the information I had going into this, I was expecting like a really cold, tropey sci-fi movie, but this is one of those stories that gets better as it goes along, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of reviews bashing this movie for the script. I think the writing is actually smarter than people are giving it credit for. I thought all the important character motivations made sense, and there are certain plot devices that are set up which pay off with some really nice emotional moments near the end. It's really the broader backdrop of the war that loses me a little bit. The portrayal of AI feels kind of dated and honestly out of touch with current events. It's pretty much your standard humans versus robots, and the robots are pretty much human in every way except that they have holes in their heads and therefore they must die. This is funny because I was introduced to The Good Place literally the night before I saw this movie, because the running joke in that show is that in order to get to like heaven, you have to be basically a comically good person. Like you gotta donate all your money to Greenpeace or some shit like that. The way the robots are portrayed in this movie, they're all going to the good place, and all the humans are going to hyper hell. That is the one thing that I think differentiates this movie too. You really see just how far humanity is willing to go to win this war. And it's pretty fucked up. Like, it's not like Saving Private Ryan fucked up, but like, it's getting to that point. I'm gonna go a conservative 3 out of 5 on the writing here. This is the type of film where I really gotta make sure that I'm not confusing good directing with movie that looks real good. Because guess what? This movie looks real good. Gareth Edwards previously directed the 2014 Godzilla and also Rogue One, and he has that massive sense of scale down. Like, if you want your movie to look big, you call this man. It's not just the establishing shots either. There's a big battle at the end of the second act, and that's definitely the scene that I'm gonna remember this movie for. So it definitely plays to Gareth Edwards' directorial strengths. 4 out of 5, because the directing is probably what makes this movie. Here's the thing. These characters aren't written too far beyond what they need to be to keep the movie going. You got Ken Watanabe as the stoic robot leader. You got Allison Janney as the hardened army colonel. It's never a good sign when the characters are more easily identifiable by their types instead of their names. I can't really comment on Gemma Chan as Joshua's wife because she spends most of the movie not really being in the movie. John David Washington, though, is once again very capable as a leading man of action, and he does get to show more personality and emotion than he did in, like, Tenet. Madeline Una Voiles as the child, so they kind of, like, throw her together with John David Washington in, like, this adopted father-daughter type relationship at the beginning of the movie. I did not quite buy this. I don't think the writing was enough for that chemistry to be, like, all the way there, but in a couple scenes towards the end, she definitely did have me, like, tearing up. I'm gonna say 3 out of 5, with the caveat that it's not really the actor's fault that the script has him taking a backseat to the spectacle. As cool as I think it is that this movie builds up a brand new sci-fi world from scratch, the world building still felt a little derivative to me. You got the rebelling robot population from Blade Runner, you got the mysterious, potentially apocalyptic child from, like, Looper, the cyborg military of James Cameron, the AK-47 guerrilla robots of Neil Blomkamp. You even got the blue beam in the sky from, like, every sci-fi action movie of the past 15 years. We got that too. Oh yeah, and also a lot of like the tone and the imagery is definitely meant to like evoke the Vietnam War also. And when I realized it, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, but that was about as far as that went. So let's play a game for a second, actually. If the soldiers in the actual Vietnam War are listening to like Fortunate Son, what do you think the soldiers in the sci-fi Vietnam War are listening to? That's right, Radiohead. Look, I'm not a Radiohead hater, but every time I think that I might want to try to get into their music, I get afraid of being typecast as the type of dude who would make a sci-fi action movie and then score it with Radiohead. 3 out of 5 on that one. Have I been shitting on this movie a lot in this review? Because, like, I actually did have a really good time watching it, like, no lie. Remember how I said Gareth Edwards knows how to shoot action? Boy, this movie has a lot of action in it. I'm really impressed at how efficiently it moves between set pieces, actually. Because this movie is, what, like a little over 2 hours, right? It's not what I would call long, and it feels like there's enough plot and action in here for like a 3-hour movie. It is a dense motherfucker. And I mean that as a compliment. If you like sci-fi and you like action, this is gonna be a satisfying 4 out of 5 course meal for you. All right, time for the fun part, where I figure out what the score of this movie is. What do we have here? I think this is pretty similar to Dumb Money, actually. Acting 3, originality also 3. We'll have to see if I like keep going with just the whole numbers here, because I feel like I might fall into the trap of just like rating everything 3 and 4 and being scared to commit to anything. That would be pretty in character for me. And that gives us. That's gonna be a 3.4 out of 5. Yeah, this movie's not bad at all. Like, if you're curious about seeing this movie, go see it, because you're probably gonna dig it. Like, what, are you afraid that nerdspin.com is gonna judge you? Literally, who cares? Go check it out, let me know what you thought of it, and let me know what you think of this style of review, because I'm still in the experimental phase here. I'm only rating stuff this way because I don't want to be able to be held responsible for my own ratings. I'm totally open to changing this stuff. And yeah, if you dig it, go ahead and scrabble my cattle. God, what if I actually started calling my subscribers that? Fuck it, this part of the video is improv. It stays. And I'll see you next week. I don't know what's coming out. Maybe you do, but I'll see you next week with a review. That's kind of good. Boom, bitch. Peace.